Belizeans taking part in the Sika Youth Meeting were today taking part in the second day of activities. Belize was represented in the forums that dealt about developing democratic institutions, regional citizens' security, perception and social inequality, competitiveness and security, and mediums of social communication. Galen University student Byron Acosta took part in the forum that discussed and debated about the impact social communication has on crime and violence in the region.
The role of the media, yes, is one, not to hide what's going on or put it under a rug, but to say this is what's taking place, but also they need to balance it out with not just making it lopsided, showing all kinds, just the negative that's taking place in the country, but put positive things as well. But they were trying to suggest that there should be a balance between the bad news and also to highlight the good things that are taking place. We're not saying don't report it, but try to create a balanced news where people don't feel so depressed and so sad after watching the news.
Cesar Leon, Communication Officer for the World Bank Regional Office, was a presenter at the forum and spoke about a recent report published by the World Bank. In it, according to Leon, the World Bank found that crime and violence has a high cost to the region equivalent to 8% of the GDP in resources invested to fight crime and the effects it has on businesses.
So, taking this into account, it's important to analyze and revise how the press is covering crime and violence. The press plays a very, very important role in the society, and the press and the journalists have the challenge to analyze and to discuss among themselves if the coverage is just being done from a sensationalism approach, or if there's opportunity to see crime and violence and cover crime and violence as a development issue. This can be done taking more into account the victims and the victims' point of view, but also helping explain what are the main catalysts for crime and violence, and also what are the consequences.
According to Acosta, media in Belize follows the same trend like in Central America, where there is too many reports centered on crime and violence in the country.
One of the issues that came up more prominently than others was the display and the publication of violent death and murders. Would publish pictures of people who were decapitated if they were involved in a violent traffic accident and their parts of their bodies were dismembered. They would put images like that with no discretion and no care for on the part of the families of the victims. And so they were trying to come up with a code of ethics that would address that. Not exactly censorship, but they're looking first of all that the media on a whole, that they would have self-regulation.
He, however, believes that young people can make an impact by changing the way media in Belize reports on these cases.
And so young people can become a part of addressing these problems with the unethical publication of certain images by our media, by commenting on it on Facebook and saying, well, that's not right, you shouldn't have done that, so that these news media, their editors can begin to get the feeling that, certain things are not okay to put on TV, and not just be silent about it. Let them know what young people are thinking. Let them know, hey, yes, we want to get the news, but there's a certain way in which you're supposed to publish the news.
After the session, proposals were drafted and are to be presented to the presidents and other heads of government of the region when they meet tomorrow in Tegucigalpa, Honduras for the Sika Summit. Reporting from Tegucigalpa, Honduras for Love News, I'm Arturo Cantun.